There is a law that governs success, a law that has never failed, a law so absolute that no man, woman, or institution can alter its course. It is the law of the mind, the law of thought, the law that commands the outer world only in accordance with the inner world. And the first truth you must understand is this: you cannot command the world if you do not command yourself. You cannot manifest the life you desire if your mind is a battlefield of conflicting emotions, wandering thoughts, and unrestrained impulses. The world bows only to those who are calm, deliberate, and unwavering within. Consider for a moment the man who allows every insult, every slight, every criticism to dictate his behavior. Observe how the masses surrender their power to circumstance, to gossip, to anger, to fear. Each reaction, each surge of uncontrolled emotion is a surrender of authority. It is a relinquishing of the throne of your mind to forces external to your control. And what do they receive in return? Chaos, confusion, frustration, failure. But when a man or a woman learns to detach from the emotional storm, to remain steady while the world trembles, to think before acting, to respond rather than react, he has achieved a mastery that makes fortune, opportunity, and influence obey him. This is not theory, it is principle, it is law. Napoleon Hill once wrote, "If you allow your emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future." Let these words sink into your consciousness. Let them resonate in the chambers of your mind. Your emotions, if left unchecked, are the tyrants that will bind you to mediocrity. But your disciplined thought, your controlled feeling, your unwavering inner purpose is the authority that can bend circumstance, influence men, and sculpt destiny. To understand the mastery of the inner world, we must first define the problem: emotional reactivity. It is the hidden thief of opportunity. It is the silent murderer of progress. It is the invisible chain that binds otherwise capable men and women to a life of regret and unrealized potential. Consider the man who seeks approval. Every decision he makes is influenced by the praise or criticism of others. Every action he takes is a reaction to fear, desire, or envy. Every moment of happiness is borrowed, temporary, contingent. This man is not free. He is a slave to circumstance, to appearance, to opinion, and nothing of lasting value can be built on a foundation of surrender to the tides of feeling. Now consider the solution: the power of emotional detachment. To detach does not mean to become cold, indifferent, or unfeeling. It means to recognize that your mind is the source of your reality, and that external events have no power to control you unless you allow them to. It means to observe, to measure, to deliberate, and to act only when your higher self, your conscious, reasoned, purpose-driven self, has determined the proper course. Detachment is not weakness. It is strength. It is not apathy. It is mastery. It is the foundation upon which mental discipline is built and upon which all extraordinary achievement rests. Every great success begins with mental neutrality. The ability to remain calm in the face of provocation, to withhold judgment until thought has weighed the facts, to act from reason rather than impulse. This is the law of mental control. Consider a captain navigating a storm. The seas rage, the wind howls, the waves threaten to engulf him, yet he does not panic. He observes. He calculates. He adjusts his sails. He steers. The storm may batter him, but he is not defeated. The storm obeys no man. It obeys only the disciplined captain who has learned to master his own fear, his own emotion, his own mind. In the same way, your circumstances may rage around you, but the inner calm, the disciplined thought, the detached mind will guide you to success. The next principle to understand is the law of response versus reaction. Reaction is instinctive, unthinking, impulsive. Reaction is slavery. It is the surrender of your mind to external stimulus. But response is deliberate, conscious, purposeful. Response is freedom. It is authority. It is the assertion of will. When insult comes, the undisciplined mind reacts with anger, with bitterness, with resentment. When provocation occurs, the weak mind reacts with fear, with anxiety, with self-doubt. But the disciplined mind responds with clarity, with calmness, with decisive action. And it is this response, this intentional direction of energy that shapes reality. Every man and woman who has mastered success understands the principle of thought first. Every outer manifestation begins as an inner conception. Every fortune, every achievement, every recognition begins in the mind. To act without first commanding your thought is to walk blindfolded into battle. To command your thought before action is to carry the strategy of victory into every endeavor. Emotional detachment is the key that allows this principle to operate. When the mind is free from turbulence, free from reaction, free from the sway of passing moods, it can conceive, it can imagine, it can plan, and from that clarity, all success flows. Consider the principle of definiteness of purpose, a truth that Hill elevated above all others. The mind, untrained, unanchored, emotionally reactive, drifts like a rudderless ship. But the mind anchored in purpose, disciplined in thought, detached from petty influences, moves with unstoppable force toward its goal. Definiteness of purpose is not merely knowing what you want, it is living it, breathing it, saturating your consciousness with it until every thought, every action, every decision serves its attainment. And emotional detachment ensures that no temporary failure, no criticism, no setback, no envy, no distraction can divert the mind from the path. Self-discipline is the companion of purpose. To discipline the mind is to control emotion, to regulate attention, to command action. Without self-discipline, even the greatest ambition is wasted. Every unrestrained feeling, every uncontrolled impulse, every indulgence of fear or desire is a fissure through which failure enters. But with discipline, the mind becomes a fortress. Your thoughts are weapons. Your intentions are shields. Your actions are precise and deliberate. And the world, in awe of your unwavering direction, conforms to your will. Here, the principle of mastery over emotion becomes not optional but necessary. Imagine a man standing at the edge of a precipice, facing the most crucial decision of his life. Panic floods his body. Fear clouds his vision. Indecision paralyzes his muscles. If he allows emotion to govern him, he falls. But if he detaches, observes, and commands his inner state, he can act with certainty, with precision, with effectiveness. So too in life. Every opportunity, every negotiation, every creative endeavor, every act of leadership requires mastery over emotion. For it is the uncontrolled feeling that destroys opportunity, and it is the disciplined feeling that creates success. To take control of the inner world is to take control of destiny. Your mind is the field in which success is sown. Your thoughts are the seeds. Your feelings are the water and sunlight, and your actions are the harvest. Emotional detachment, mental discipline, definiteness of purpose, accurate thinking, self-discipline, and deliberate response form the ecosystem of achievement. Neglect any one of these principles, and the harvest is diminished. Cultivate them all, and the harvest is overflowing. The principle of accurate thinking cannot be ignored. To think accurately is to discern fact from fancy, truth from opinion, opportunity from illusion. Emotional turbulence clouds judgment. Attachment to approval, fear of failure, desire for instant gratification, these are the enemies of accurate thinking. The detached mind, disciplined and calm, sees with clarity. It evaluates with precision, it decides with authority, and in the arena of life, clarity of thought translates directly into results, into influence, into success. Now understand this, as Hill would insist. Your mental state is your responsibility. You are the captain of your inner ship. The storm outside is not yours to control, but the storm within is yours to command. Every emotion surrendered, every thought left unchecked, every reaction given free rein is a surrender of sovereignty. But every moment spent in conscious observation, every instant of deliberate thought, every effort to master feeling is a reclamation of power. And the power to shape your life is reclaimed moment by moment, thought by thought, decision by decision. Consider the habit of autosuggestion, the deliberate impressing of thought upon the subconscious mind. Every word you speak, every image you hold, every assumption you accept becomes a command that your inner world obeys. If you allow yourself to be carried by idle conversation, by negative influence, by self-doubt, then your subconscious receives a torrent of chaotic, destructive instructions. But if you master autosuggestion, if you saturate your mind with clear, disciplined, purpose driven thought, you reprogram your inner machinery. You convert desire into certainty, ambition into reality, imagination into tangible achievement. Visualize now the power of imagination under disciplined control. The mind that wanders is a field of weeds. The mind that imagines with purpose is a garden of riches. Picture the life you desire as though it already exists. Feel it, hear it, see it, smell it, taste it. Let the mind live there in full sensory immersion. Do this daily, as the law demands, and the subconscious mind begins to act quietly, persistently, invisibly, moving circumstances, opportunities, and people into alignment with your inner reality. This is not fantasy. It is not idle daydreaming. It is the conscious construction of destiny, the deliberate forging of reality through the authority of the disciplined mind. Every man who has risen to prominence, every woman who has achieved greatness, has understood that control over the inner state precedes control over the outer world. Napoleon Hill said, "What the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve." But he also warned, "Conception alone is insufficient. Belief alone is powerless. Action alone, untethered to disciplined thought, is wasted energy." The inner world must be mastered first, and from it flows every effective decision, every courageous act, every result of lasting significance. Think now of your responses to adversity. How many times has fear dictated hesitation? How many times has pride provoked conflict? How many times has frustration consumed clarity? These are the subtle thieves of potential. They rob you slowly, invisibly, until one day you awaken to find opportunity has passed, influence wasted, greatness deferred. But when you adopt emotional detachment, you transform every challenge into a calculation, every setback into information, every criticism into instruction. You move forward with unwavering resolve, because nothing external can unsettle you, and nothing internal can derail you. The law of cause and effect governs all action. Your thoughts, disciplined or undisciplined, are causes. Your circumstances, opportunities, failures, triumphs, they are effects. The detached mind, trained in deliberate thought and emotional mastery, becomes a source of powerful, constructive causes. It does not react, it creates. It does not complain, it commands. It does not falter, it persists. It understands that success is the inevitable product of the right inner state applied consistently over time. Now consider the daily exercise of mental discipline. Begin with awareness. Observe your thoughts, catalog your feelings, measure your impulses. Identify those that serve your purpose and those that hinder it. Next, practice deliberate selection. Choose the thought, choose the feeling, choose the response. Do not allow the subconscious to act without instruction. Do not allow external events to dictate internal state. Finally, enforce consistency. Repeat these steps daily, in small moments and in large, until your inner world reflects the order, clarity, and authority that you wish to see externally. The power of calmness cannot be overstated. Calmness is the soil in which all achievement grows. The agitated mind produces confusion, error, and misjudgment. The calm mind sees clearly, decides correctly, and acts with precision. Emotional turbulence is a veil. Calmness is the lens through which truth and opportunity are revealed. Those who master calmness under pressure are those who conquer kingdoms of enterprise, influence, and destiny. Think further of personal initiative. Action without inner preparation is reckless. Inner preparation without action is impotent. But initiative that stems from disciplined, detached thought is unstoppable. It acts decisively, ethically, and purposefully. It anticipates, it calculates, it executes. This is the hallmark of those who succeed where others falter. This is the edge that separates mediocrity from greatness. The world bends not to the loud, the impassioned, or the frantic, but to the calm, the deliberate, the mentally sovereign. Understand, too, the subtle art of response to criticism. The undisciplined mind reacts with anger, defensiveness, or justification. The disciplined mind detaches, absorbs information, evaluates truth, and acts accordingly. The difference is the difference between mediocrity and extraordinary achievement. Criticism becomes a mirror of opportunity. Adversity becomes the catalyst for improvement. Challenge becomes the instrument of growth. Emotional detachment transforms every obstacle into a tool. Every insult becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes a stepping stone. Remember always that habit is the architect of destiny. The patterns you cultivate in thought, emotion, and action build the structure of your life. Habit without discipline builds mediocrity. Habit with disciplined thought and emotional mastery builds greatness. Observe your habits, the way you begin your day, the tone of your inner dialogue, the attention you give to distractions versus purpose-driven tasks. Correct, guide, and fortify them with relentless intent. Finally, consider the ultimate reward: peace, power, and unstoppable progress. Peace is the natural result of detachment. Power is the natural result of disciplined thought. Unstoppable progress is the natural result of combining these with definiteness of purpose. Nothing external can break you. Nothing internal can derail you. Nothing in the universe can deny you the success that you create from the authority of your inner mind. Now, rise, therefore, and take command. Begin at this moment to cultivate emotional detachment. Begin to observe, select, and direct your thoughts with relentless discipline. Begin to act only from calm, deliberate, purposeful decision. Begin to see your life as a canvas upon which your inner vision is the brush, your disciplined mind is the hand, and the universe itself is the obedient medium. You are not subject to circumstance. You are the master of your destiny. You are the creator of the life you desire. And as Napoleon Hill himself might have said, remember this: no man, woman, or circumstance can hold dominion over you unless you surrender the throne of your mind. Guard it, command it, rule it, and you shall manifest what you truly want. Now consider the subtle tyranny of the untrained mind. It whispers, it tempts, it deceives, it magnifies fear, exaggerates threat, and paralyzes ambition. Every doubt it raises is a thief in disguise, stealing opportunity, delaying success, and eroding confidence. But the disciplined mind, the mind that has learned emotional detachment and mental sovereignty, intercepts these whispers with clarity and authority. It does not argue, it does not panic. It simply observes, corrects, and redirects. Where the undisciplined mind reacts, the trained mind acts. Where the unprepared mind yields, the prepared mind commands. Where the average mind collapses under pressure, the disciplined mind flourishes. It is imperative to understand that your inner dialogue is your executive counsel. Each thought you nurture is a minister issuing orders to the machinery of your life. Permit confusion, and chaos reigns. Permit fear, and opportunity flees. Permit emotional reaction, and power evaporates. Permit clarity, focus, and calm deliberation, and the gates of achievement swing open. You must become a vigilant guardian of this counsel, correcting false beliefs, reinforcing principles, and maintaining order. The man or woman who commands their inner counsel becomes a sovereign of circumstance, a master of destiny, and an architect of unshakable achievement. Turn now to the law of mental neutrality. This law dictates that no external event possesses inherent power over you. Only your interpretation, your emotional reaction, and your chosen response give reality to circumstance. A crisis in itself is neutral. It becomes harmful only when you permit fear, frustration, or anger to claim dominion over your inner world. Conversely, it becomes a source of strength, opportunity, and revelation when you meet it with detachment, rationality, and deliberate thought. Master this law, and no external chaos can disturb your path. Reflect upon the principle of response versus reaction. The reaction is automatic, often irrational, and driven by emotion. It is the hallmark of the undisciplined mind, the child of impulsiveness and habit. The response, however, is chosen, deliberate, and guided by principle. It requires awareness, analysis, and courage. Every great leader, every entrepreneur of consequence, every visionary of history has acted from response, not reaction. The power of this distinction cannot be overstated. To master it is to seize control of time, energy, and destiny. Now, let us examine the practice of emotional auditing. Each day, assess your emotional accounts. Identify deposits of constructive thought, creativity, and purpose. Identify withdrawals of doubt, resentment, and distraction. Maintain a balanced, growing, and constructive inner ledger. Make it a habit to cultivate emotions that serve your highest interests: courage, clarity, patience, and determination. Remove those that erode power: envy, regret, fear, and impulsivity. This process, conducted daily, builds an inner fortress of stability and authority capable of withstanding any external storm. Consider further the power of disciplined visualization, to imagine with vivid detail, to feel the reality of success as if it has already occurred, is not merely a psychological exercise, it is the act of creation. The mind, convinced of reality, acts to manifest the imagined condition. Repeat this exercise daily, for months, for years, if necessary, until the subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Then the outer world follows. The universe, indifferent to your desire, bends only to your inner conviction, your disciplined focus, your unwavering belief. Understand now the role of decisive action. A disciplined mind and a detached heart produce clarity. Clarity demands action. Action executed with precision, courage, and purpose sets into motion the forces of achievement. Without action, even the most brilliant thoughts stagnate. Without discipline, even the boldest action falters. But when mental mastery, emotional detachment, and decisive execution converge, success is not merely probable, it is inevitable. Reflect also on the alchemy of adversity. Life's challenges, when met with detached analysis and mental discipline, become instruments of refinement. Each difficulty exposes weakness. Each setback teaches resilience. Each trial reveals opportunity. The undisciplined mind laments, resents, and succumbs. The disciplined mind observes, learns, and converts adversity into advantage. This is not philosophical abstraction. It is the blueprint of every great achievement, the silent engine behind every towering success. Finally, grasp the magnitude of inner responsibility. No man or woman can escape the consequences of their inner state. Blaming circumstances, society, or others is the folly of the weak. The strong, the wise, the disciplined accept full responsibility for thought, emotion, and action. They recognize that their inner world shapes their outer reality, that they are the masters of cause, the creators of effect, the sovereigns of destiny. Accept this truth, embrace this power, and no force on earth can prevent you from achieving what you conceive and believe. Now rise, deliberate, and act. Begin each day with awareness, each moment with choice, each decision with clarity. Guard your thoughts as a general guards his army. Command your emotions as a captain commands a fleet. Align your actions as a builder aligns beams to construct a lasting edifice. Your inner world is not a playground, it is the laboratory of destiny. Treat it with reverence, discipline, and unwavering authority. The gates of achievement stand before you. They yield not to wishful thinking, not to fleeting inspiration, not to idle hope, but to disciplined thought, emotional sovereignty, and decisive action. Walk through them with the consciousness of a master, the courage of a pioneer, and the clarity of one who understands that success is the natural consequence of a controlled mind applied to a definite purpose with relentless persistence. Rise, therefore, and command your inner world. Detach from chaos. Discipline your mind. Direct your thoughts, control your emotions, act decisively, and in so doing, you shall manifest what you truly desire, for the universe conspires with those who govern themselves first. Now let us examine the critical distinction between desire and attachment. Desire is the spark that ignites ambition. Attachment is the chain that enslaves the spirit. The man who achieves mastery understands that attachment to outcome breeds fear, impatience, and agitation. He cultivates desire, yes, but he tempers it with detachment, focusing on action, preparation, and mental clarity, rather than obsessive worry over results. The universe responds not to desperation, but to clarity, not to anxiety, but to precise, consistent alignment of thought and action. The man who detaches from needless emotional turmoil is like a captain who steadies the helm in a storm. The ship does not cease to move, the wind does not obey, yet the course is maintained, progress assured, and land reached. Understand this. Emotional detachment is not indifference, it is authority. It is the declaration that no external circumstance may dictate your inner state. It is the sovereign command of your mind over fear, doubt, envy, and resentment. It is the declaration that you will act from principle, thought, and calculation, not from impulse, reaction, or fleeting emotion. In this authority lies unimaginable power, for every act of self-mastery compounds upon itself. Each time you choose calm over panic, clarity over confusion, rationality over resentment, you reinforce the foundation of your inner empire, making it more resilient, more productive, more unstoppable. Turn your attention now to mental discipline as the architect of character. Your mind, disciplined or undisciplined, shapes not only your circumstances but your very character. Thoughts repeated, emotions reinforced, habits formed, they all accumulate, constructing the framework of identity. A disciplined mind nurtures courage, perseverance, clarity, and integrity. An undisciplined mind fosters fear, impulsivity, doubt, and moral compromise. Observe the lives of those who have achieved the extraordinary. Each reflects years of consistent inner cultivation. Their character is not inherited, it is constructed. And you, too, have the power to construct a character of indomitable strength, unwavering resolve, and magnetic influence. Now consider the power of selective attention. To master your inner world is to control where your consciousness dwells. The undisciplined mind flits from worry to envy to distraction, scattering energy, diluting focus, and breeding frustration. The disciplined mind, however, chooses its focus with precision. It attends only to what advances purpose, strengthens clarity, or deepens wisdom. It ignores what cannot serve. It isolates information, evaluates it, and directs it toward action. This selectivity multiplies effectiveness exponentially, converting mental energy into tangible results and turning the mind into a fortress of productivity and insight. Pause for a moment to reflect upon the law of deliberate initiative. Those who achieve greatness do not wait. They do not linger in indecision. They do not defer action to circumstance or convenience. They act decisively, strategically, and with foresight, guided by disciplined thought. Every decision is deliberate, every action purposeful, every failure a lesson incorporated into the next maneuver. Initiative, when combined with emotional detachment, transforms obstacles into opportunities and hesitation into progress. It separates the leaders from the led, the victors from the victims, the creators from the consumed. Consider further the power of inner rehearsal. Just as the athlete trains the body through repetition, the mind must be trained through repeated visualization of desired outcomes, controlled responses, and correct emotional states. This rehearsal is not idle daydreaming. It is a rigorous exercise in subconscious programming. The more vividly and consistently you imagine success, act as though it has already occurred, and immerse yourself emotionally in the experience of achievement, the more your subconscious aligns to make it real. Mental rehearsal is the blueprint, action is the construction. Together, they erect a monument of success. Let us turn to the principle of proportional response. Every circumstance presents a stimulus. Every stimulus demands a response. The undisciplined mind reacts disproportionately, either overvaluing the trivial or underestimating the critical. The disciplined mind responds in precise proportion to reality, guided by principle, insight, and purpose. This proportionality is not just efficiency, it is power. It is the ability to conserve energy, maintain clarity, and produce maximum effect with minimum waste. It is the distinction between effort that achieves and effort that dissipates into frustration. Reflect, too, upon the alchemy of patience. Time itself is neutral. Results manifest according to the consistency, intensity, and discipline of inner effort. Impatience produces rash decisions, error, and wasted opportunity. Patience, guided by detachment, produces foresight, strategic execution, and resilience. Patience is not passivity, it is deliberate endurance. It is the recognition that lasting success cannot be hurried, that results compound, and that the disciplined mind harnesses the invisible forces of time, aligning cause and effect until the intended outcome appears. And now, contemplate the interconnection of thought, emotion, and action. Thought without emotion is dry and uninspiring. Emotion without thought is reckless. Action without alignment is wasted. Mastery emerges when all three converge, orchestrated by the conscious mind with unwavering purpose. The man who achieves this convergence commands his reality. He is unshakable by circumstance, impervious to chaos, and unstoppable in progress. Each thought, each feeling, each action reinforces the next, creating a virtuous cycle of growth, clarity, and achievement. Finally, internalize this truth. The outer world is merely a reflection of the inner dominion. Your circumstances, relationships, wealth, health, and influence reflect not chance, but the state of your inner world. Chaos in life reflects chaos within. Clarity in life reflects clarity within. Abundance in life reflects disciplined desire, focused thought, and unwavering emotional sovereignty. To control the outer world, therefore, one must first control the inner world. To manifest what you truly want, one must first embody it internally. The mind, disciplined and detached, becomes a lodestone, drawing into reality that which has already been conceived, believed, and rehearsed in its inner sanctum. Rise now to the magnitude of your responsibility. Accept without excuse or delay the authority you possess over thought, emotion, and action. Guard your mind as a general guards his command post. Wield your emotions as a master wields his instruments, and direct your actions with unwavering precision. Every day, every hour, every moment is an opportunity to reinforce discipline, to strengthen detachment, and to align with the purpose that calls you forward. For those who embrace this path, nothing is impossible. Circumstances bend, opportunities multiply, and success becomes inevitable. The law operates without exception. He who commands his inner world commands his outer reality. Now, consider the silent power of observation. The world is a theater of cause and effect, yet the undisciplined mind interprets only fragments, deceived by appearances, swayed by rumor, and blinded by impulsive reaction. The man of mastery observes without judgment, records without prejudice, and evaluates with precision. He sees patterns where others see chaos, and in those patterns, he discovers the paths that lead to victory. Every moment becomes a lesson, every interaction a data point, every obstacle an invitation to refine strategy. Observation, combined with detachment, transforms experience into insight, and insight into calculated action. Turn your focus to the fortress of calmness. The mind, like water, reflects only when it is still. Agitation distorts, fear clouds, anger deceives. Yet the mind that cultivates calmness sees clearly, thinks accurately, and chooses decisively. Calmness is not weakness. It is a cultivated strength, a conscious state that converts chaos into clarity. It allows the mind to discern opportunity from threat, to act with precision, and to marshal resources with authority. Every master of success has cultivated this fortress within a state impervious to external tumult, capable of operating with unerring efficiency under pressure. Reflect upon the principle of deliberate thinking. Thoughts are seeds and emotions are the sunlight that nurtures them. Uncontrolled thought produces weeds of doubt, fear, and regret. Controlled, deliberate thought produces gardens of opportunity, abundance, and influence. The disciplined mind guards against idle rumination, cultivates only those thoughts aligned with purpose, and nurtures them into action. As Napoleon Hill so often emphasized, what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, but conception alone is insufficient. It is the deliberate, repeated, and disciplined thought, coupled with unwavering emotional alignment, that converts vision into reality. Now, meditate on the mastery of response. Life circumstances are neutral. It is not events themselves that determine your destiny, but your response to them. To react impulsively is to surrender sovereignty. To respond deliberately is to assert it. Consider a fire. Uncontrolled, it consumes indiscriminately. Harnessed, it warms, illuminates, and powers industry. So too with circumstance. When met with calm, measured, purposeful action, every challenge becomes fuel for progress. The man who masters response transforms adversity into advantage, resistance into momentum, and limitation into expansion. Turn to the practice of emotional rehearsal. Just as the body strengthens through repeated physical exercise, the mind and emotions are strengthened through deliberate practice. Visualize yourself in situations that would normally provoke anger, fear, or doubt. See yourself responding with composure, clarity, and wisdom. Repeat this mental rehearsal until it becomes instinct. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between imagined mastery and real mastery. It will align your actions with the rehearsed ideal, creating external reality in harmony with internal discipline. This is the bridge from thought to manifestation, from control of the inner world to dominion over the outer. Now, embrace the principle of selective emotional investment. Not every event, every opinion, or every challenge deserves your emotional energy. Energy misapplied dissipates effectiveness. Energy applied with precision multiplies influence. Learn to invest your emotions as a strategist invests troops, only where there is strategic value, where action can advance purpose, and where results can be influenced. Detachment here is not apathy, it is efficiency. It is the conscious allocation of emotional resources to maximize return and reinforce control. Focus now on the subtle art of mental neutrality. In any circumstance, maintain a position of balance, observing without over-identifying, acting without being acted upon. Like the eye of a hurricane, the man of mastery remains calm, while all around may rage. Mental neutrality allows clarity of thought, precision of action, and immunity to manipulation. It is the state in which the subconscious can be programmed deliberately, in which creativity flows unhindered, and in which opportunity becomes visible where chaos obscured it before. Reflect deeply on the law of incremental progress. Mastery is not instant, discipline is not forged overnight. The accumulation of small, deliberate actions compounds into extraordinary results. Just as a river carves a canyon over centuries, so too do consistent, disciplined efforts carve the path to success. Every controlled thought, every measured response, every practiced visualization, every deliberate action compounds. Patience and persistence are not mere virtues, they are the engines of inevitable success. And now, confront the inevitability of inner authority. The man who commands his thoughts, masters his emotions, and directs his actions with purpose becomes the unassailable architect of his destiny. He does not wait for permission. He does not defer to circumstance. He does not plead with fortune. He acts decisively, thinks expansively, and feels with precision. The universe responds, not to desire alone, but to aligned, disciplined, and unwavering command. You too may occupy this throne of inner authority, commanding life from within and bending circumstance to match vision, principle, and purpose. Understand this: to control your inner world is to control your outer reality. Every limitation, every failure, every setback reflects a lapse in inner discipline, a surrender of emotional authority, a diversion of thought. Every opportunity, every breakthrough, every success reflects consistent mastery over thought, feeling, and action. This is the immutable law. The mind governs all. He who masters the mind masters destiny. Prepare now to internalize the final principle, the unity of thought, emotion, and action. Vision without emotion produces inaction. Emotion without thought produces chaos. Action without alignment produces inefficiency. Only when thought is disciplined, emotion is directed, and action is deliberate, does mastery manifest fully. This is the triumvirate of success, the sacred alliance within your inner world that shapes your outer world with unerring precision. Rise to this awareness, feel the weight of it, and embrace the responsibility it entails. You are the master, the commander, the architect of your own life. The power lies not in circumstance, not in luck, not in others, it lies within you. Command your mind, discipline your emotions, direct your actions, align your inner world with your highest purpose, and watch the outer world respond with unstoppable inevitability. And now, as you stand on the precipice of your own potential, hear this truth as if it were the clarion call of destiny itself. The mind is sovereign. Nothing outside you holds power over your life except the power you grant it. Circumstance is neutral. Fortune is indifferent. Success, abundance, and influence are not bestowed. They are claimed by those who command their inner world with unyielding authority. Imagine, if you will, the storms of life, the betrayals, the losses, the relentless challenges that would crush the unprepared. To those swept into chaos, life is random, cruel, unpredictable. But to the disciplined mind, These storms are mere instruments, shaping character, honing judgment, and forging the steel of resolve. The man who has mastered detachment, who has trained his emotions as a general trains an army, moves through turmoil with deliberate steps. He is unshaken, he is precise, he is unstoppable. Visualize now the alchemy of thought into action. Every moment you spend reacting to fear, doubt, or anger is a moment squandered. Every moment you choose calm reflection, measured thought, and decisive action is a victory of spirit, a tangible shift in reality. The inner world, once disciplined, becomes a factory of outcomes. Your desires are forged here. And the outer world becomes the inevitable reflection of this inner order. The laws are immutable, as within, so without. The disciplined mind conceives, believes, and acts. The outer world yields. Let me speak plainly. Mastery over the inner world is not optional. It is not a luxury reserved for the gifted few. It is the prerequisite of every great achievement, the unacknowledged foundation of every empire, invention, and triumph. Every person who has risen above mediocrity, who has transformed adversity into opportunity, has done so by cultivating the unshakable sovereignty of mind. Your thoughts, your emotions, your responses, they are the building blocks of destiny itself. Command them, or they will command you. Embrace, therefore, the discipline of daily sovereignty. Begin each day with deliberate thought. Define your purpose, envision the outcome, command your emotional state. Let no trivial insult, no fleeting disappointment, no external turbulence divert your focus. Guard your mind as a sentinel guards a fortress. Feed it with clarity, fortify it with calm, and deploy it with unwavering decisiveness. In doing so, you align yourself with the inexorable laws of success, and the universe itself becomes a willing instrument of your vision. Remember this, above all, detachment does not mean disengagement, nor does calmness imply passivity. It is the intelligent, courageous, and proactive control of self. It is the quiet power that moves mountains, redirects rivers, and compels opportunity to seek you. You become the eye of the storm, the center of influence, the axis upon which the world turns. All else is secondary, transient, and inconsequential. And so, take this knowledge into your mind and body. Let it saturate your thoughts until it becomes instinct. Practice it until emotion bends to reason, until desire aligns with principle, until action flows from wisdom, not impulse. Walk through life as the architect of reality, the commander of destiny, the sovereign of your own world. No power outside you can equal the power within you when it is fully awakened, disciplined, and directed. The hour has come to cease hesitation. The hour has come to seize the inner kingdom that has always been yours. The moment to command, to act, to align, and to manifest is now. Rise then with clarity, with courage, with relentless discipline. Command your mind, master your emotions, direct your actions, and claim the life that reflects your highest vision. For in this mastery lies not merely success, but greatness, freedom, and the unshakable certainty that you are, and always have been, the sovereign architect of your own destiny. And now, go, command, achieve, manifest. The world awaits your unwavering mind.